All right, so welcome everyone. This is our total body workout class. We do have a pretty good workout, about 30 to 35 movements, all unique movements, no repeats. Each giant set will consist of about 3 to 5 lifts, and I'll let you know how many of each we're doing. It's usually going to be somewhere between 10 to 15. And other than that, we'll take 30 seconds rest after every lift. And after every set, we'll take about a minute 30. And that should get us through the whole session. So if you have any questions, please ask. And if there's any movements that are uncomfortable or you're not sure about, please unmute yourself and let me know so we can find an alternative movement. But yeah, hopefully everything goes smooth. Have a towel nearby, water, yoga mat, and dumbbells. That's the equipment we'll need for today. And the last 6 or 7 movements will be on the floor. So we'll finish off on the floor and we'll do our little short cool down on the floor as well. So morning, Teresa. So let's go ahead
Good
and
morning.
morning. Let's go ahead and begin. So just looking left to right, starting with our warm up. We have a, what is it? After this week, I think we have 2 more weeks. I think this is week 6, up and down. And then we'll start with our new 8 week term. Um, but I think it's October 12th. That's when we start back up with the second half of the term. Next circles. Which yesterday I started tracking in all the food that I eat throughout the day. Just trying to be a little bit more disciplined. Again, I was doing that for a couple years and then I stopped for a couple years. So yesterday was my first day back doing it. So just hoping it keeps me a little bit more alert with what I'm consuming. Let's do our snow angels and not just eat without, giving it any thought. So just trying to eat a little healthier. Also got up this morning around 5:30, um, and did a little warm up before I went on a 2 mile run. Luckily, no aches on my calves, no pains. So I'm hoping the warm up helped out. And I also tried running with the new running form. Just continue. Let's go ahead and do trunk rotations. Sorry, just responding to a student. Okay, so left to right. Let's do our ab circles. Keep your back straight. On back. Yeah, so yesterday I spent maybe about half an hour just doing some reading and watching some videos on how to help with your calf muscles when they're tight or if they continue to cramp up. And I kept seeing articles and videos on how to activate your glute muscles when you're running. So the idea is that you're activating your glute muscles and they're helping, um, your legs move instead of just using your lower legs for running purposes. Which let's do big hula hoops. So So yeah, so that would take off some load off the calf muscles, which should relax them a little bit. So it's it 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 worked, I guess so. Yeah, it worked. Um, I'm hoping, it continues to work, but it was just, that's not how I'm used to run. So I just had to like mentally be mindful as my form when I was running. So yeah, so what I kept, and I'm sure most of you have heard of pelvic tilt, or we practiced it when we're on the floor, sometimes doing some glute bridges or some abs switch. So it was also just focusing on bringing your belly button up and inside, keep turning, rotating your waist a little bit, your hips, and that should engage your glutes a bit more when you're running. So I just felt like I was doing that and I was running more upright. I didn't feel like I was lazy or leaning over too much. And yeah, that helped. But then I also felt like other areas of my body becoming really sore. Let's do our hip openers. Let's do 5 on each leg. So yeah, so I'm hoping, as long as the calf feels better, I think I'm willing to try, these new techniques. All right, let's go ahead and do the left side. Left side. Someone's trying to log in, but they were accessing the Wednesday Canvas shell, which is a different Zoom link. So it's not gonna get in here. Let's do our quad stretch. So grab right above your ankle and pull back. Morning, Lisa, Karina, Sarah. Let's switch. So yeah, so today we'll do some new movements that we haven't done before. Most of them we have, but there are some new ones. And like I said, there's going to be a variety throughout the entire workout. So we shouldn't be doing any repeat movements. That should get us through everything. So, all right, our last, oh, we have 2 more. Let's do our hamstring stretch. So slide your hands down your lower legs, grab a hold of your ankle. You can bend your knees and drop your hips, and then extend, and then back down. Extend, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, a lot of pop in there. All right, and our last one is gonna be our deep squat. So wide stance, drop your hips down. They could get below your knees. Then great, you have great mobility on those joints. There's a new movement from this position that I've been trying to practice. I think it's a more advanced motion, but it's putting your hands on your knees and then you drop your knee down, come up, and then drop. So I could already feel that if I do too many of these, I might get sore. So I'll just build up into those and rise. But yeah, so some new movements. So let's go ahead. Okay, let me. Apologies. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I have technical issues with one of the students can't log in, but we gotta keep on rolling right now. So we'll start the workout. So our first movement is gonna be the dumbbell squat, which we've done. We'll go with keeping the dumbbells elevated, so at your shoulders or goblet style. We're gonna do 12. We're gonna do alternating dumbbell raises. So instead of doing them at the same time, we're gonna focus, really engage one at a time. We're gonna do 10 on each arm. We're gonna be doing the dumbbell swing. So almost like a kettlebell swing, having the dumbbell here, bringing it back and then swinging. Again, you're not using your arms. The motion of the hips thrusting, that's what should swing the dumbbell. Then we're gonna go with dumbbell bent over rows. We've done those, plenty of those. And then we're gonna go with dumbbell overhead tricep extensions, working on those triceps. Okay, so. All right. Any questions before we start? Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I could just send this link real quick to, can I share this? This is going to take too long then. Yeah, I think it is going to take too long. See, so just, I can do this right now. Meeting info. Just trying to help the student. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna email the student real fast. Should take no more than 30 seconds to just hang out, grab some water, sit up. Your yoga mat doesn't necessarily need to be ready yet. Um, hopefully that works. Hopefully we see someone jump in right now. Okay. Yep. So in case this happens to you in the past, yeah, maybe you could try logging in before class starts, so I could get an email or communications and send you the link. But yeah, hopefully we just have access to Canvas. All right, so let's grab those dumbbells. We're gonna go with our dumbbell squats. Okay, so like I said, we're doing 10 to 12. So ready? I'm gonna go goblet style. Our feet are wide apart, our shoulder width wide apart, and then remember, we're gonna come, sit down, and then up. We're gonna pause at the bottom for about a second, and then back up. In your way down, exhale on your way up. Hey, Linda, made it. 4, up. Hello. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going for 12 of these, all the way down. 10, it's working our hamstrings and our glutes. 11 and 12. All right. Very good. So like I said, 30 seconds rest in between lifts. When we're doing cardio and core, we want to take a little bit shorter rest, but when it's lifts, we do want to have proper and good form, so we want to be well rested for those. Next is dumbbell alternating front raises. So up here. Okay. Hi, Linda. You made it.
Hi. Yeah,
Hi.
sorry. I tried over the weekend and had trouble, and then this morning.
Yeah.
I'll
I
call
think,
them today.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, the only thing is we don't want to continue logging in to Zoom through just the link. because then your account doesn't get credit through Canvas. So we just want to log in our hours in Canvas. But yeah, I'm glad you're here regardless. So
Yeah, I don't want to keep you talking.
yeah. All right, here we go. So alternating front raises. Dumbbells are here. Remember, here, your palms are facing the camera, and then we're just taking one at a time. Okay. So focus, getting that wrist right in front of your face. In with a squeeze. 4. Yeah, the nice part about doing these individually is that your arms get a little bit of a break as we're alternating. So you're able to lift a little bit more weight when you break it up into one at a time. Once you start feeling your elbows bending or you're rotating, like if you're doing this here, we're done with the lift, okay? We want to keep nice form. I think it's my last one. Oof. Oh, good one. Oh, all right. 40. And yeah, if you see me going back and forth to my phone, I have the workout set up on my app, and then I'm also inputting the weights that I'm doing. So anytime I come back and do the same workout, I could always look back, see how much I lifted on the previous workout, and try to improve on that. So yeah, it's the app that I use for my clients. All right. All right, so our kettlebell or our dumbbell swing is our next one. We're doing 15 of these. So remember, grab your dumbbell, you can get in this sumo stance position, and then you're gonna bring your hips back, just swing. Okay, and then once you get a good swing, that's where you start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, all the movements happening at the hips. Your arms are just holding the dumbbell. You're not really lifting it, okay? The momentum of your hip thrust is what's launching the dumbbell. 13, 14, 15. Those dumbbells are dirty. We have our dumbbell bent over rows next. So remember this one, we are gonna be slight bend at the knees, back is nice and straight, hinging at the hips, dumbbells right below you, and you're bringing them up to your side. Okay, that's gonna be our next movement. Oof. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So, bent over, back is straight, then elbows to my side and down. Inhale, exhale. Always when it's towards your body, you inhale. Away from your body, you exhale. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Very good. Okay, we have one more lift before our 90-second rest. And the next lift is going to be our overhead tricep extension. So again, holding the dumbbell behind with both hands and extending at the elbow, you'll be getting the activation of the tricep muscle. So working on that tricep. All right, here we go. You guys are ready? Let me try with one of our plates. Ready? Here you go. So 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you don't want to drop it on your head or on your back. So just be careful with that weight. Oof. Right. Very good. Oof. This is where we get our 90 seconds rest. 90 seconds rest. So I'll tell you what the next movements are going to be. Okay, the next movements, we have 5 exercises. We have dumbbell reverse lunges, dumbbells at our side, step back, reset, step back, reset. If that's too much, what you're gonna do is just step back and then just go down and up, down and up, okay? We're gonna do 8 on each leg, so a total of 16. Then we have our dumbbell bent over reverse flies, okay? It's a mouthful. So bend over, maybe lighter dumbbells for this one. You're here, and you're gonna, instead of bringing them here, you're gonna go out, okay? So that's why we need lighter ones, because when we are away from our body, our shoulders get a little bit more fatigued. We have Romanian deadlifts. Next, after that, slight bend at the knees, dumbbells come down, and then we bring them back up. That's gonna work out your hamstrings and your glutes. We have some bicep curls. It's gonna be a variation of bicep curls. It's called around the world bicep curls. We're gonna do a bicep curl. When you're up here, you're gonna rotate out and come out this way. Called around the world bicep curls, okay? And then the last movement for that set will be dumbbell shoulder shrugs. So that one's pretty easy. You hold the dumbbells here, shoulders up, shoulders all the way down, okay? Don't worry, if you forgot any of those, we'll go through them as we're going through the workout. All right, here we go. Reverse lunges. Ready? Doing 8 on each leg. We're here. And step back, down. And we're alternating. Okay, if you're doing the stance where you're not changing your position and you're just going up and down, you could do the 8 on one leg first, and then switch legs and do the 8 on the other leg. 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. Very good. We have the dumbbell bent over reverse flies. So I'm going to grab lighter dumbbells for that. Once you lift it for a while, you kind of know what lifts are a bit more challenging. So this is one of them. Anything that's away from your body, it's usually you're going to be lifting a little bit less than when your arms are closer to your body. All right. Okay, here we go. So 12 of those. Ready? So we're here and line and 1. Keep your head down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Oof. Get your rest. We have our, let me know also if we need more time. So if we need more time, give me like a broken heart emoji. I know there's a broken heart emoji or like a sad face. So, but if we're good with time, just don't need to do anything. Next one is a Romanian deadlift. So remember for this one, we're gonna have a little bend at the knees. Your dumbbells are here in front of you, and you're just gonna go down and then straighten out and up. Okay, that's gonna work on your hamstrings and your glutes. Keep your posture nice and straight. Keep that back nice and straight. Try to work on that pelvic tilt too, keeping your belly button, towards the inside so that rotates the hip a little bit. All right, here we go. Ready? And again, so 10 to 12. 1. So it should take you about 4 seconds to go all the way down and another 3 seconds to come up. It's a pretty slow movement. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 to 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're good. Woo. What was that? 15? At 15 pounders for that. Okay, next is going to be the biceps around the world. So remember this one, dumbbells are in front of you. You're going to do a curl. When you're up here, you're going to rotate your elbows out and then you're going to come down. Okay, and reset. So the idea is instead of just doing them out here, that little rotation out and bringing them out, that's going to work on your triceps as well. So it's going to work on that side part of your arm, not just the front part. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? We have 10 to 12 of those. We're here. So curl up, out, down, and come back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whoop. Arms are getting like jelly. 11. We'll go for 15, 12. Oof. 13. There you go. Good job, Linda. 14. Ah, 15. Oh, good. Oof. 30, 15. Okay, 30 seconds. We have dumbbell shrugs are next. Okay, that's where we hold the dumbbells at our side and shrug up. So, okay. How's everyone feeling? Pretty good. Okay, Linda, doing well. All right, Miss Wynn. See.
I
So
haven't been getting any exercise, so I'm happy.
there you go. Yeah, good stuff. It's always nice to get something in. I was on a trip. Oh, I'll stop talking now. If I start talking now, I won't stop. So I'll wait till after. Dumbbells to your side and shrug. So 15. So up and down. So bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears. Down. It's 2, 3. Go all the way up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oof. All right. 90 seconds rest on this one. 90 seconds. We're going to our next giant set. So this one's also 5 movements. We have overhead press. So dumbbell overhead press. You could do this one sitting down if you have a chair nearby. Okay, then we're gonna go dumbbell cross hammer curls. So here, and then just go opposite shoulder. Okay, so your dumbbells, we'll just do regular curls, and you just bring that dumbbell to that opposite chest. Okay, then we're gonna go back to the chair and do seated calf raises. That's where we're here. Dumbbells are here on our knees. I don't want them on your lap. I want them on your knees. And then you're gonna raise your heels. So for this next set, yeah, just have a chair nearby because we'll be using it a couple of times. Okay, we have the dumbbell 6-way shoulder complex. This one we'll do about 5 because it's several movements in one. So for that one, we're gonna go out, in, up, down, out, and in. Okay, so don't worry about the directions. You could just follow along. And then after that, it's gonna be the dumbbell split squat. So that's similar to a reverse lunge, but we're gonna go down, halfway up, back down, and up. Okay, so it's gonna look something like this. 1, 2. Okay. All right. Here we go. The overhead press. Where's my chair? I'm gonna need my chair. All right, so we are doing 10 of these. Over here, ready, and begin. So 10. So 1, all the way down, dumbbells to your shoulder. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. So remember, anytime we're working towards our body, you inhale. As you're expanding your arms, your chest is opening up. So you want to exhale so your lungs open up. Okay. Good. All right. We have our hammer curls next. For this one, yeah, we'll have to be standing up for this one. So you're just gonna have the dumbbells and just bring it to your opposite shoulder. Okay. We are doing 10 on each arm. 10 on each arm. Yeah, so I dropped the folks over the weekend if they stop showing up. So everyone's that's here now are folks that have been attending. So, all right, here we go. Ready? So 10 on each arm. So this way, opposite. So again, we're getting a little bit more rest because we are alternating. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 10. Awesome. Back to the chair. We have seated calf raises. So remember this one, I want your dumbbells to be resting right over your knees. Because if you're using them here, that's not putting too much tension or force on your calves. We don't want them here. Okay, ready? And begin. We want 20 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14. Not too bad for that one. Grab some water, a little 30 seconds rest. This next one is the shoulder complex right here. So I would go with some lighter weights for that one. Let me grab my lighter weights. That one you tend to have the weights away from you for a longer duration. So your shoulders will get tired. All right. So I have so usually I working out with 15s or 20s. For this one, I'm grabbing my 5s because my arms get a little fatigued with these. Okay, so I'm here. Ready? So lateral raise into the center, then up, down, out, down. Okay, so that's 1 here, 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 2. 3. 4. Let's do 6 of these. 5. And 6. Very good. All right, we have our 1 1/4 squats, split squats. So that's where we're here. Almost like the reverse lunge. So we remember this one, we go down, quickly up, back down, and then up. That's one. So it should look like this. 1, 2, okay? We're doing 6 on each leg. 6 on each leg. All right, here we go. Get in position. And again, so here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm done here. I'm gonna switch sides. And here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're good there. Awesome. All right. 90 seconds rest. Okay, this next one's 4 movements. Any questions so far? Any comments? Grab some water. Don't feel like you can't drink water right now. If you need water, go ahead and grab it. All right, so the next one's 4 movements. Okay, so all right, so this one is the underhand raise, but now it's at the same time. Okay, so we're still engaging on that chest, but instead of alternating, this time we're doing it at the same time. So you might want to go a little bit lighter for those on the first one. Then we're gonna go with dumbbell thrusters. So dumbbell thrusters, we're gonna go here, close stand squat into a push, and then you extend with your dumbbells over your head. So it's a close stand squat and a shoulder press at the same time. Then we have poliquin lateral raises, hammer curl, elbows up, extend, and down. Okay, so a lot of these combination movements going on right now. And then dumbbell upright rows. So dumbbells here in front of you, we bring them up, down, up, down. Okay, that's gonna be our next set. All right, let's put those front raises. Ready? Okay, so we're doing 10 to 12. Remember, this is at the same time. 3, 2, 1, go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Oof. Work. Thrusters are next. Remember thrusters here and press. Okay. 20 more seconds for those. Good job, everyone. Doing good. Heart rate's at like 130 right now. All right. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So squat, press. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Poliquin lateral raises. You have 6 of those. 6, 8, 8 of those. So remember, you're gonna do a hammer curl, elbows up, extend, and then back down. Okay, that's 1. We're doing 8. 10 more seconds. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Hammer curl, extend. 1. Here, here, here. Okay, so we want to follow along. So we curl, you extend up. Okay. 4. There you go. You got it, Linda. 5. That's the good thing about having your camera on. I could correct you and let you know if you're doing it correctly. This is the last one. There's some of you I've never seen before.
I like to be accountable.
Good, there you go. Awesome. All right. Upright rows are next. So that's where we have our dumbbells in front of us and we bring them up to our chest. So, whew. How's everyone feeling? Are we getting tired? Are we feeling good still?
I'm feeling it.
Okay. Yeah. It's a long workout, but
I'm good.
Grace, so you're good.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Oh, who else? Miss Wynn is good. Who's laughing over here? Oh, Miss Wynn. Miss Wynn is feeling it.
Mm.
Here we go.
Sweating.
But yeah, me too. Debbie, good job. I know, Debbie, this is your favorite workout of the week. Let's keep, so for this one, again, just bring your arms up and then down. Seeing a lot of reactions right now, so that's good. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good work. All right, we still have a little bit left. Item bank. Okay, going into this is our fifth superset. Okay, so this is also 4 movements. We're gonna have our reverse curls. Do we need a little bit longer of a break? You folks could tell me. Just trying to go through this workout. So our reverse curls, remember our palms are facing behind us and we bring the dumbbells up. For this one, I recommend not wrapping your thumb around the dumbbell. Just keep it in front with your other fingers. That's gonna make it easier to keep that curl or that dumbbell in place. Then we have our 1 1/4 dumbbell squats. So we did the lunges or we did the little pump. This is gonna be with the squat. So it's gonna be here, quickly up, back down, and up. So it should look like this. 1, 2. Okay, so you're gonna feel that right above your knees. Okay, we have alternating bicep curls. So just right here, alternating. And then our 4th one would be our standing Arnold press. So Arnold press, we're here, rotate up, come and rotate in front of you, and up. Okay. Here we go. We have arms and legs on this one. Here we go. All right, dumbbell reverse curls. Ready and begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. We have our front squats next. Doing 10 of those. 20 more seconds. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Again, if you feel like you're redlining, like you're exhausted, skip the next couple, just catch your breath. But if you're feeling good, just continue with the workout. So, all right, here we go. These we could keep our dumbbells at our side. Okay, so remember, this is a 1 1/4 squats. So here, pump down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alternating bicep curls. So 1 at a time. For this next one. Okay. Here we go. Grab those dumbbells. Alternating. 3, 2, 1. Go. So we're doing 10 on each arm. Do one at a time. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10. Work. Okay. Our standing Arnold press. You could also do these sitting down. This one will be here. Rotate out, come back, bring them together, rotate. Okay. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Here, here, here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Doing good. Ninety seconds rest. Ooh. How's everyone feeling? We want to keep it closer to an hour or an hour 10? How are we feeling?
Hour 10 is okay.
Hour
With
10.
me.
All right, people have time.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I have time. You have time? I have time.
Great.
All right. So we have front raises. So we have been doing the underhand front raises. This time our palms are behind us. So we're up here. When we do that, that's going to work more of our shoulders. When it's underhand, it's more of our chest. So we should still be pretty good. Then we're going to go with single arm rows. That's when we are using a chair for support. Dumbbell comes down, and then we just bring our dumbbell to our side. But we're going to try to keep our elbows out this time instead of in. Okay, so that's going to work on our lateral part of our back. And then we're going to do a new movement, which is called the Cossack squat. And it's almost like a lateral lunge, but without the resetting. So if you know what I'm talking about, you're going to go here, come up, and then here. Okay. That's going to be the Cossack squat. So just 3 movements for this set. All right, so we have our front raises. We have 10 to 12 of those. Ready? Remember, palms are facing behind you. 3, 2, 1, go. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Our single arm row is next. Okay. Single arm row. Remember this one, using a chair for support. You're here, your back is nice and straight, and then out. and down. Okay, so you just repeat that. We're gonna do 10 on each arm. We're ready. Let's go ahead and begin. 3, 2, 1. Go. So up, down. Inhale, exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, we're gonna switch sides. Ready, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Everyone's feeling good still. All right, and our Cossack squat. Demonstrate that right now. Pretty much, you're gonna start off with wide stance, dumbbells here, and you're gonna come back here. Okay. So if you're too close, you're not gonna do too much because you're too close. So make sure you have a nice wide stance. If you wanna, if this is your first time attempting this one, you could even just try body weight. You don't have to have a dumbbell. So we're gonna do 8 on each side, so a total of 16. 3, 2, 1, go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Very good. How we feel about that one? We like it?
I can feel everything.
Yeah, that one's gonna get your inner thigh, your glutes, your quads. So yeah, and it'll be smoother if you have good mobility around your hips. So okay. All right. So as promised, the last 2 sets are on the floor. Okay. The first set is gonna be on the floor. It's gonna be a dumbbell plank pull through. If this is too much for you, just try to give me the plank version. Okay. So again, a plank would be, this is a high plank, or this is a kneeled high plank, and this would be a regular high plank. Now the pull through is this motion here, and only if you could do it, attempt it. So you're here, I have my dumbbell right there. So with my opposite arm, my left arm, I'm gonna come through, bring it out here, reset, and then just alternate here, okay? If you could do it, great. If you can't do it, just try to give me one of the kneeling planks or the high plank, okay? So we're gonna do a total of 40 seconds of whichever movement you're doing, okay? We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 40 seconds. So then if you can do the pull through, great. So coming through with my opposite hand. About halfway there. We're 20 seconds in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay. Very good. How's that one? Sound good? Okay. Gonna need your yoga mat on this next one. We have a floor press. The remaining movements we are on the floor. So this one,
I
you good, Linda?
can't get on the floor, so I'm gonna try to modify something.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
did it against the wall, the last one.
Okay. Yeah, so this next one we're gonna be so the next few sets or the remainder of the class pretty much we're gonna be on the floor. So if
Okay.
there's any from the previous movements that we did that you want to repeat, feel free to try any of those. Okay. So for the floor press, we're gonna get in a sit-up position. We have our dumbbells ready to be used. We're here. Okay. On the floor, and we're gonna push up and then down. Up, down, that's 2. We're doing 12 to 15. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. That's the floor press. And then this one, we are gonna do a sliding sit-up. You could do a sliding sit-up or a dumbbell crunch. So sliding sit-ups, your hands are on your lap, and you just slide your hands towards your knees. Dumbbell crunch, you have the dumbbell here, and you come up. Okay. All right, we're gonna do 15. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Good work. Ooh. All right. I have one more giant set. Is everyone down for it? 4 exercises or 4 movements, and then we could start our cool down. Okay. Now this
Okay.
is a little bit longer than usual, but I think everyone's saying great. Oh. Okay. For this next one, this is elbow
it's okay.
external
Go
rotation.
sit there. No. Thank you.
So for this one, we're gonna get on our side. Here on our side, we're gonna hold the dumbbell. And as we're holding the dumbbell, all we're doing is up
Mm.
and down. Okay. So grab a light dumbbell. I'd recommend anything between 2 to 5 pounds. I'm going with 5. Ready? We're doing 8 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Switch sides. Right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 more exercises. Almost there. Finish line is right there. We have Jane Fonda's. So hip lateral raises. You're doing 10 on each side. Okay, so for this one, remember we're just leg up, leg down. Make sure it doesn't make contact with your foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Switch.
No, sir. No,
Switch
no,
sides.
Stacy.
Ready? And begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome. Right. Good stuff.
Yes.
Okay. We have 2 more movements. Okay, we're gonna do push-ups. You could do knee-assisted push-ups or traditional push-ups. So again, this is working on your arms, your shoulders, and your chest. We're doing 10. Ready? And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. And our last movement of today's workout is going to be Superman. So belly down, pretty much you're going to be here. Shoulders and arms are elevated. Your feet and your knees are elevated too. We're going to hold that for 40 seconds. Okay, and then we'll stretch from the chair. All right, here we go. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Go. 40 seconds.
Okay, see you next Monday and Wednesday. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Three, 2, 1. Time. Oof. Good job. Good work. I think I have over 300 calories for that one. Good job, everyone. Get on our chairs. All right, let's go ahead and do our cool down. Okay, so let me know how you're feeling right now. If you're recovered, drink some water. So let's go ahead and sit on that left hand. Keep that shoulder fixed. Bring your right hand over and allow the arm of your the weight of your arm to stretch your shoulder. We'll switch. Sit on that right hand, bring that left arm over. Okay, both arms come behind your head and pull. Let's do a trunk rotation. So legs are pointing forward, grab the side of your chair and just gently pull. Switch sides. Right, bring that left ankle to that right knee. Let's push down. Bring that knee up. Let's hug it out. All right, give me some feedback, folks. How do we feel about this workout? Let's switch.
I think it's interesting. Looking forward for next Monday.
Okay. All right, that's a good feedback so far. Let's push down. We're not too tired, or it's just right. Bring that knee up.
Yes, Julio. And I love it.
Okay. Debbie, Ella, Dan. How are you feeling?
I like the variety, but I kind of like to repeat some of the lifts.
Sounds good. I'll make sure we could alternate workouts like that. Ella?
It was hard, but it was good.
Okay,
I liked it. It was challenging, which I like.
great. Great. All right. Yeah. So yeah, maybe we could come back and do some. I try to pick on some movements that I think Debbie you might have noticed they were kind of similar, like the underhand or at least some shoulder stuff or the squats or the lunges. But we could go back and forth. I think when we go more than 2 sets of each lift, that's kind of when it gets repetitive. So I think maybe if we could do like 2 sets, we could do that. So next week I'll try to program something where we just do 2 rounds, but we go through everything and then get through like maybe a second round if we have time. So
That's my favorite. Yeah.
okay. All right. Good. I love to hear that. So yeah, this one I was creating it on the program yesterday, and it was just so many exercises. I was like, all right, let's just go through them. But were there any movements that we didn't like or it was just funky?
No, everything okay.
All right. I know sometimes like there's some movements where I'm like, yeah, we're never doing that again. But yeah, I didn't feel any movements that were awkward. The one I was a little bit concerned about was the Cossack squat, but I think everyone enjoyed that one. So cool. All right, folks. So I'll put the recording on the front page and I'll see you folks on Wednesday. So,
Thank you.
All right, rest up, hydrate, drink water. It's supposed to be a warm one today, so. All
So
right,
this
but,
a recording
Bye, Julio. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right, bye. Yep,
Thank
the
you,
recording will be
Julio.
on the
Bye-bye.
front page.
on the front page?
Yeah, of the Canvas shell.
Okay.